Hello, welcome to my first review of Monday Night Raw, which happened 2 days ago today, which would have been the 18th. First off, I started off with the Ambrose Asylum. I thought that was really good. Bit, segment, whatever you want to call it. Started out, Shane got a big pop. He had a joke with Braun Strowman being a river monster. That was kind of funny. KO came out, said some crap about how he's being punished by Shane and all the other McMahons. Then Sammy came out, and because Kevin Owens was saying, "You are on my Sammy's on my coattails, blah blah blah." And then Sammy's music hits. He comes out. It's like, well, I was in WWE first, so you're following me. And Jericho comes out, says Shane's drunk with power by canceling the highlight reel. And then at Payback, Shane at Payback, he sets Ambrose versus Jericho and Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. And then all four of them start fighting in the ring after Shane gets out. So that was it for that first segment. And they come back from a commercial. They have Jericho and Sammy in a match. So I thought that was a pretty good match. I gave it about 3 out of 5. So give or take, it's alright. There's lots of action in and out of the ring. But Jericho ended up winning with thumb to the eyes. And then he did a code breaker on Sammy. So he ended up winning that way. Not the outcome I wanted to see, but it was a good match either way. Then we get a backstage interview with AJ Styles, and Anderson and Gallows come out and thank AJ for bringing them into the WWE. And then after that, the next match is a semi-final match for the #1 contender for the tag team titles. We have Enzo and Cass versus the Dudleys. Enzo, he is great on the mic. They're basically in the new batch that they're bringing in. I think he's probably one of the better ones on the mic. I don't know if it's scripted that way or if it's off the top of his head, but either way, I think he's pretty good. It started out with the Dudleys putting a bad beating on Enzo, and then Cass gets a tag, puts a beating on the Dudleys, and then Big Cass gets a big boot on Bubba, tags Enzo, and then they do their finisher mover, which they call the rocket launcher, which is basically Enzo's in the corner, he jumps off and does a belly flop or whatever, 5-star splash onto the opponent, and Big Cass kind of pushes him down. So that's kind of their finisher. And got that for the win. I gave that, again, 3 out of 5. I thought that was a pretty good match. Probably liked Enzo on the mic a little bit better than I did the match, so that's probably why I got an extra point out of it or so. And then second hour starts out with Roman coming out to loud boos. Oh my gosh, this is getting ridiculous. I don't know why they keep putting him out there, but my guess is they put him in the middle of the show so that way people won't tune out at the beginning and they don't have him at the end where people just change the channel. So if they put him right in the middle, people are kind of stuck watching him. And then he did his crap where I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm just the guy. And he said AJ's the tough guy, he's going to be bringing the big fight to Payback, and this is the new era of the Roman Empire. Whoop-de-doo. But rain chants start after he said that, and then almost immediately AJ's music hits and he comes out and fans just change the cheering. I mean, I thought it was great. He says Roman's one heck of a champion. The crowd boos him, which obviously the crowd hates him. Everybody I think hates Roman. I even hate Roman. I liked him better in the Shield, but that's just me. I don't work for WWE, so I guess I can't write it the way I would like it. And AJ says again, he's going to need to have the match of his life. And then he goes on to say, but every night is pretty much the match of my life. I've been champion all over the world and stuff like that. So after he says what he was saying, he gets out of the ring and then starts walking up the ramp. And Gallows and Anderson attack Roman. I thought that was the best part. And then they go to commercial, come back. Roman's in the back walking, and AJ comes up to him like, hey, I didn't have anything to do with it. Which I kind of think he did. That's just my thought, but what do I know? And then the next match was basically a squash match for Baron Corbin. He faced Fandango, whatever you want to call him. Whoop-de-doo, who cares? I think the Fandango thing is dead. I don't know why they keep trying to do it. They just need to kind of give him a new character. But Ziggler was out there on the mic at ringside. And then through the match, Baron Corbin throws Fandango, whatever, into Ziggler. Kicks Ziggler a few times while he's down. And then he throws Bingo back into the ring. And does his finisher of the end of days on him. 1, 2, 3, the win. And then as he gets up, Ziggler rushes into the ring, starts attacking him. Baron Corbin throws him out of the ring. Gets him out on the outside mat and does his finisher on him again. Second week he's done it to him. I like the way it's going with that. I gave that match a 2 out of 5 just because you kind of knew what was going to happen. You knew Ziggler's out there. Oh, he's going to get attacked. He's going to do something at the end. So that was kind of predictable. Then again, then they went to commercial. They came back. They had a introduction for Primo and Epico. I guess they've gone away from the Los Matadors. If you didn't know that was them. So I guess their Los Matadors thing is done, and they're kind of going back to Primo and Epico, and the Puerto Rican thing is cool, I guess. I don't know what they're doing. They lost with them. I don't know. They had them before as Primo and Epico, and they changed them to Los Matadors, and now they're going back to Primo and Epico. So who knows what they're doing with them? It'll be interesting if they get a better pop than the Los Matadores or whatever you want to call them. And I just like the Matadors because they had a little midget, and midgets are funny. Then they had a Miz TV bit with Miz and Maurice. It basically started out as a stupid kiss fest, which was really boring. And Cesaro comes out and calls the Miz a royal pain in the butt. Or actually he said royal pain in the ass. Miz talks. And then the crowd starts chanting boring. And then he says, oh, I'm going to Mizify this line from Taken. And he like totally messed it up. I mean, he blew it. I mean, he didn't really have it prepared. But I think Cesaro, he did, oh, well, if you're going to do a line, I'm going to do one from who just had a birthday. The great Roddy Piper. Where I came here to chew bubble gum and kick some ass, and he had gum in his mouth. He spits it out, and I'm all out of bubble gum. And that got a good pop. And then Miz is like, well, we can't have a match because you're already scheduled for a match with Rusev. So then Cesaro goes, wait. I talked to Shane before I came out here, and that match is now going to be the League of Nations and The Miz versus Cesaro. And he's got, I love his new outfit. The suit with the, he can just rip off, so he rips off his shirt. He's got New Day shirt on there. I thought it was great. Then they go to commercial. They got 8-man tag. with League of Nations, Miz versus Cesaro and the New Day. Lots of tags, lots of action. That's about all I can say. Cesaro hit the neutralizer on Sheamus for the win. I gave it a 2 out of 5. I don't know. To me, it wasn't that great of a match. And then they go to Ric Flair and Charlotte backstage. Natalya says at Payback, they're going to have a match, and this time it's going to be even because my Uncle Brett's going to be in my corner to even the odds between you and your daddy. Which was an alright segment. And then we come back. They have another 8-person tag this time. It's the women. I thought it was a little bit better than the guys, which is kind of shocking, I guess. I don't know. We've just kind of been, over the years, it's just, women's wrestling really isn't that great. I mean, it's just nice to finally see it actually become wrestling, not divas. We're not going to be beauty queens and sit out there. We're going to wrestle. We're going to be superstars. So I think that's a great way that they're doing that, is we're going to be superstars. We're going to be wrestlers no matter what. And that was between Naomi, Tamina, Summer Rae, Charlotte, and Natty, Becky Lynch, Paige, and the Boss, Sasha Banks. And then Natty won, or actually during the match, there was lots of action, lots of tags. When Paige got in her first time, the crowd went nuts because they were in London, so her hometown basically. Natty hit gets the sharpshooter on Charlotte for the win. And again, I thought it was better than the guys. I gave it about a 3 out of 5. And then we have the next match after that was the Usos and the Vaudevillains, the other semifinal match for the #1 contenders. I thought this was fast action, really good. I wasn't expecting the Vaudevillains to win, because I mean they just debuted Friday or Thursday, on SmackDown, so you wouldn't expect it. But it's great to see the younger guys getting a chance now, and they hit the Whirling Dervish for the win, so that was pretty good. I gave it a 3 out of 5, or 3.5 out of 5. So I liked the action where it was quick, lots of tags, and it kept on moving. And they had Apollo Crews against Heath Slater, which I already pretty much figured this is going to be a squash match. They showed something from SmackDown or earlier in the night, I don't remember what it was, where the social idiots, outcasts, whatever you want to call them, saying, "Oh, if we beat you, you got to become one of us." So you kind of knew Apollo Crews isn't going to do that. He's better off without him. I gave that a 2.5 out of 5. You knew it was going to happen. I mean, there's a little bit there where Heath Slater almost got a pin. Almost. Not quite. So, didn't expect that. And then we get to the main event. We had KO versus Ambrose. I thought this was the best match of the night. Ambrose with the Dirty Deeds for the win, but it was a great match back and forth. In and out of the ring, I gave it a 4 out of 5. And then at the end of the show, or right before the end of the show, Jericho hits the code breaker on Ambrose, and then the show ends. My best match for the night would be Ambrose and Kevin Owens. I thought it was great. Lots of action, good fighting between both of them, going back and forth. And then the best segment was the Ambrose Asylum. So you start out the show on a good note, and end the show on a good note. So I guess that was pretty good. Then my Payback update will be for WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We're going to have Roman versus AJ. I'm not sure how they're going to go with this. I want to say they're going to keep it on Roman, but it depends on how they're going to play Gallows and Anderson coming in. If they're going to interfere and maybe AJ will win, I don't know. For the Intercontinental title, we have The Miz versus Cesaro. I think they're going Cesaro all the way. I think they just put it on Miz because They needed a good bad guy, and Zack Ryder's really not a bad guy. So they wanted to give Zack Ryder, his WrestleMania moment. He got it. Miz wins it the next night. So, and Cesaro comes back, I think, that same night after that too. So I think they already had it planned that Cesaro's going to win it. So they just wanted to have it out of bad guys, so that they're good guy versus bad guy instead of wrestler versus wrestler, which is what I think it should be. And then for the women's championship, we got Charlotte with Ric Flair in her corner versus Natalya with Bret Hart in her corner. I want to say they're going to put it on Natalya, but I think I'm going to go with Charlotte. I think Ric Flair and Bret Hart will get into something, and Natty will get distracted somehow because Bret will be down, and then Ric Flair, or not Ric Flair, but Charlotte will end up getting something on her and putting her in the figure 8 and getting the win. Now comes probably two of the best matches I want to see for that night are Jericho versus Ambrose. I think that's just going to be the match of the night. They're going to be going at each other. Ambrose, you never know what to expect with him. He's just nuts. And then we got Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, which for Payback, it fits. Because when Kevin Owens came into NXT, he ends up putting out Sami Zayn and fighting him for his title and just beating the hell out of him. So I think this one's going to Sami. Sami's going to get his payback. And then we got Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains for the #1 contendership for the tag team titles. I'm thinking it's probably either going to start out the show or it's going to be on the pre-show, and then they'll have the title match probably later in the night. And I'm thinking Enzo and Cass are going to take it just because they get a bigger pop than the Vaudevillains, and they're going to want, I don't know, but I don't see them beating New Day. I think New Day's just too over right now for them to take them off of them. But if they do, Enzo and Cass, I think, would be the best choice.